Charli James. You're watching ABC News. You're here. This is like the first big rally for Trump in Cleveland for the RNC. He is supporting the Green Party this year and Dr. Jill Stein.
How I dance as a youth.
You performed on the show. Good job. See how good of a teacher I am? Yesterday, the crowds here in front of the Capitol in Washington, D.C. were here to celebrate Donald J. Trump's inauguration as the 45th President of the United States. Today, it's a much different story. You're looking at the Women's March on Washington. We're back on ABC News Digital here with a celebrity chef and co-host of tonight's event, Anthony Bourdain. Are you cooking tonight as well or just
Hell
eating?
no. Those days are over.
Hey everyone, I'm Charli James. Thanks for watching ABC News Digital. Earth Day is April 22nd. It's a day to celebrate the Earth's beauty and show support for its conservation. And we have some very special guests here today to help us celebrate a couple days early. Please welcome zookeeper Rick from the San Diego Zoo and some animal ambassadors.
Hello, guys.
Hi, guys.
Come on.
Yes, here with Katrina Pearson, spokesperson for the Trump campaign. So first off, how do we think he did? Back in another debate?
Yes, back in the debates, I think Mr. Trump did very well.
I'm Charli James. Welcome back to ABC News Digital's continuing live stream coverage from New Orleans. We are in the 9th Ward right now, just over the bridge there. If you see that blue tower, that is the lower 9th. That is what was particularly hit hard and flooded. If you remember images from the aftermath of Katrina, many came out of that area. But here in the upper 9th, there's still a lot of visible scars 10 years later from the destruction that Katrina caused. I want to show there's a former nightclub over here on this corner that still needs to be destroyed. And on the drive over here, we saw a number of houses that still need to be torn down from FEMA. So even though it is 10 years later, there's still a lot of noticeable damage in this neighborhood. And one of the organizations that immediately following Katrina got on the ground and started making a difference as far as rebuilding is Habitat for Humanity. And we're actually at one of the houses that they have rebuilt right now. And this neighborhood is full of houses built by Habitat. And I want to introduce you to the executive director for the New Orleans region of Habitat for Humanity. This is Jim Pate. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure, Charlie. Good to have you.
So an update if you're just joining us as to what's going on right now. We are in D.C. We're at K Street and 14th, just a few blocks from the White House. And this group here is protesting the man who will newly take his place in the White House. Donald J. Trump just inaugurated today on the National Mall, which is right down there. Right now we're looking at multiple lines of defense protecting that parade route. The Army here, the Park Police behind there, and then sand trucks further down the block. Hey everyone, Charli James and Michael Rothman back here at New York Comic Con, and I believe that we've found the biggest attraction at Comic Con today. And I don't think that it's actually a pro. I think this is just a guy who's here. Hi there, we're with ABC News. Can we ask you some questions? So is this a homemade costume?
Yes, actually made it in my house.
You made it in your house, okay. And how long did something like this take you to make?
Well, this was my first one, so it took me 4 months on and off. My name is Tim.
Tim, do you have any sort of professional costuming background? Because this is amazing.
Let's go live now to Louisville, where our own Charli James is at a special point along the funeral procession there in Ali's hometown. Charli, tell us where you are and what's going on there.
Hi, Amna. Good morning from Louisville. Yes, right behind me, this little pink house that you see, this was Muhammad Ali's boyhood home. This is where he grew up. This is where it all began. And the people that I've talked to here lining the street on Grand Avenue, let me turn and show you, that's why they've said it's important for them to be here as well, to be here where it all began. This is the house he lived in when he first started taking boxing lessons, and he never forgot where he came from as well. I spoke to a neighbor who said that every time he was in town, he would come by this area down the street and at least drive by. So even after all his success, he never forgot where he came from, and that is definitely impacting the community here in Louisville.
And we want to head now also to Paris, where we are joined by Charli James, who has been covering this story for us. I know, Charli, you were covering the story for us throughout the night last night, and you're back with us at Place de République in Paris, France. Tell us the latest.
So French police have confirmed that 2 are dead and 8 were arrested in that pre-dawn raid in the northern suburb of Saint-Denis yesterday. However, police have not revealed the identities of those apprehended or the ones that were killed, but have said that the believed mastermind Abdel Amin Aboud and fugitive Salah Abdeslam were not among those apprehended. We do know that one of the people who died during that raid was a female suicide bomber who detonated her vest after 3 people were arrested at that safe house. Police have said that 5,000 bullets were used by police, firing continuously for almost an hour during that raid. Also that the safe house had a reinforced door, which made it harder for French police to blast through into the safe house and allowed those inside to mount a defense. Now, police were alerted to this safe house by witness tips, and they say that the investigation is unfortunately going to take a little longer than expected for them because the building is collapsing on account of the explosions that happened there. We're also learning a little more about the cell phone communications between terrorists on Friday night. That's because of cell phones found, one of which was found in the trash outside of the Bataclan concert venue. A message there that was sent at 10:30 p.m. on Friday read, "Here we go, we are starting." Investigators are now using those recovered phones to try to determine the whereabouts of the terrorists before the attack, leading up to the attack, and also who they contacted. But what's still unknown at this time is the whereabouts of that supposed mastermind and fugitive.
ABC's Charli James live for us in Paris tonight. Thank you so much, Charli, for your coverage of this story.
Charli James back here in Washington, D.C. on McPherson Square. We're at K Street between 13th and 14th Streets. And following that limousine being lit on fire right here behind these police, the police really came out in force to clear that area. And you can see right here creating a barricade all along the perimeter where that limousine is on each side. But that has not stopped the protesters from being right up here on this line. We can see right here, just feet from each other, riot police with the shields and the helmets, and protesters along here. And so far it's pretty calm right here, but a lot of people still coming up and joining the crowd. Some of them are protesters, some are just people wanting to watch, and others are actually Trump supporters that are leaving the parade festivities. And so you'll see some people in those Make America Great hats mixed into this crowd as well. We're just going to walk around and give you an idea of what it looks like now. Things did get pretty heated in this area right here behind the police after a limousine that had been previously just smashed and people were standing on it, bashing in the windows. But then it was lit on fire and really went ablaze, and that is when the police and firemen came in and shut down this area.
Terrible news in New Jersey, a plane crash in an industrial area. 2 people are confirmed dead, and our own Charli James has made her way out to the scene in Carlstadt, New Jersey to give us the latest. Charli, what is the latest right there on the ground?
Hi, Amna. So this is as close as we can get to the scene right now. We're on Kiro in Washington in Carlstadt. And there is still a lot of movement with police vehicles and fire vehicles, although we can no longer see smoke. And earlier today, there was a lot of fire, a lot of smoke coming from a warehouse down the street here. We have some of that video we can show you. And it appears that this Learjet 35 crashed into a warehouse. Miraculously, no one on the ground was hit or hurt, but that building has been evacuated, and still a very busy scene here with police and fire and police keeping traffic off of this road as well.
Charli, we've been seeing some of those incredible videos and pictures people have been posting all over social media too. It's good. It looks like they've got it under control. But what do we know about this Learjet? Where was it coming from? Where was it going?
So Teterboro Airport, which is about a mile from here, is an airport for private planes, business planes, not commercial airliners. And this plane came from Philadelphia. It was certified for 10 people, but there were only 2 crew members on board. It appears that whatever happened very quickly. The plane was set to land at Teterboro, and about a mile from there, it instead unfortunately crashed right here. I mean, the area, it's a lot of businesses and warehouses, so it's amazing that no one on the ground was hurt as well. But we do know that the plane was coming from Philadelphia and only had 2 crew members on board, no passengers.
And as we mentioned, officials earlier gave a press conference. They confirmed it was those 2 crew members who did unfortunately pass away in this accident. No passengers on the plane, as you mentioned. But tell me a little bit about the area. I know you said there's just some businesses. Are there any houses around? Do we know if there was anyone on the ground at the time?
So we did see a lot of people posting videos and photos from very, very close to the scene. The area, if we want to pan just a little bit, this isn't a residential area. There aren't houses right on this street. It's more office buildings and warehouses. There's a packaging company right across the street here. So this is not a residential area, but still there would have been a lot of people here. It was the middle of the day, about 3:30, so there still would have been a lot of people working, and we saw immediately after this crash, we saw people starting to post photos and video very close to the incident itself. So there were people in the area, although there's not homes and schools right on this street.
And Charlie, just compared to the videos that we saw from earlier, it looks like they got things under control really, really quickly. I mean, I want to remind people that crash happened just a few hours ago. So that's video you're seeing there from earlier, immediately after, or soon after that plane crash. So Charlie, I'm assuming there's going to be an investigation. They're going to try to get some answers about what exactly went wrong here.
Correct. So the National Transit Safety Board has said that they will be investigating the crash. And we do know, because of the communications with air traffic control, that whatever happened very quickly. There was no signs of distress in the pilot's voice. There was no mayday call. So whatever went wrong very quickly. And so the Transit Safety Board will be investigating, but no word right now what exactly went wrong.
And we know we're going to continue to follow that story. Teterboro Airport, I should also mention, remains closed at this moment. As Charlie mentioned, that was the intended destination for this plane. So Charli James live there on the scene for us in Carlstadt, New Jersey. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Alma.